Hello, my friends. If you have been experiencing chronic illness, fatigue, or pain that just won't seem to go away, and especially if the doctors haven't been able to find answers, I want to share with you that you're not alone. There are many people experiencing what you're experiencing, including myself many years ago. And I want to share with you today from a Christian perspective on brain retraining, a powerful, new, on the forefront of science, psychology, physiology on how to help your body heal through engaging your brain and how we can engage God in the process so that we can rewire our brain and deep patterns of pain, illness, and even anxiety. My name is Kirsten Larson, and I'm a wholeness transformation coach, and my passion is to see people step into healing and wholeness. Not that long ago, I was dealing with fibromyalgia and saw that healed. I experienced extreme back pain where I couldn't even walk and saw that healed. I also experienced many traumas that caused my body to completely shut down, and I had to go on a process of healing, a long journey of healing each of those, and began to learn that our body wants to heal, and our body is created by God to heal when in the right environment. And that's a big key, when in the right environment. When it's not in the right environment, it can actually remain stuck for many, many years, even getting worse. And if you've experienced that, my friend, I just want to say, I am so sorry. I know how hard it is. I know those moments where it feels like your body is almost your enemy. But I want to share with you, your brain and body are not your enemy. They're doing what they are actually created to do. The trick is coming to find out, what is the root cause? What is the cause of this issue? I remember going to the doctor knowing my body was breaking down and something was wrong, getting all the tests and going through all the things, and them saying, I think you might need to see a psychiatrist. And not knowing what I know now, I didn't understand what they meant. I thought they meant something is wrong with me mentally, emotionally. And that was before I began really thinking in terms of a wholeness perspective. That was also before I began learning how all of these parts and pieces are working. And I thought maybe they thought I'm depressed or something, but at the time I was like, I'm not depressed. My body just doesn't work. And you don't understand. I was a high performer. I know how to do things. I am a strong personality, and I'm actually okay in this life. But my body isn't working. And it keeps breaking down, and it feels like something is deeply wrong. Even when I was eating the most extreme clean diet, moving my body regularly, and was experiencing all of this breakdown in my body, that was the only word I could come up with. Doctors didn't know what to do. And it wasn't until I began understanding this process of, he didn't necessarily, I don't know if the doctor knew or not knew. He wasn't very helpful at all and sent me away to a long journey of research, studying, finding help, looking for things. And we've now come to a world where this syndrome is known even more than ever before. And there are two phrases for what brain retraining does. One of them is for this concept that they're calling limbic system dysfunction. It's where the limbic system, the area in the brain that is in charge of making sure that we are safe. Now, we know it more likely as the place that causes that fight, flight, freeze, and now fawn behaviors begin to take place. That little amygdala, the little almond-sized alarm system in our brain, begins to go off without words, without warning, without triggers, telling everybody there's an alarm going off right now and you're in trouble. And the limbic system is really known as our survival center, which is very important, mind you, okay? We want to make sure that we keep safe. The problem becomes when that system is stuck in a loop. And that begins creating a cycle where we have signals in our body that we are not safe. And it begins to interpret danger. Danger, Will Robinson, where there is no longer any physical threat. And that's an important phrase. Sometimes there's a very real physical threat initially, say mold, Lyme's disease, an accident, maybe a car accident or falling or getting hurt in some way, getting injured, or maybe even a trauma, a mental, emotional trauma that got stored in the body. So there's an initial opening for that experience. But when there's not a healing of that place in the brain can keep the signal going. It can keep the body in stress mode. It can even keep the pain alive. And what that means is the pain is not all in your head as in you're making it up, but it's in your head that your brain is keeping that signal of pain, fear, fatigue, tension, anxiety. It's keeping it going. And we've talked about before on my YouTube channel, the bottom-up approaches. Those are also very important. So for brain retraining to truly do its work, we need to do both bottom-up, somatic therapies, as well as top-down, retraining the brain. So if you remember, neurons that fire together in our brain, they wire together. They create a neural pathway that is forged in our brain that if it sees, smells, senses, comes aware of, thinks of something that is an alarm-inducing trigger, it will shoot that signal off in the body. So similarly, we need to create those signals in the body that also say the body is safe. For this video, we're just talking about for a moment how the brain can actually be retrained and why brain retraining is so important if you want your body to get better. Now, this is it's so beautiful and so powerful the way God has created us. Yes, we want to do all the positive things to help our body heal. Sleep well, have the right nutrition and supplements, move our body, get into the sun regularly, laugh regularly, and get around friends and community. People are very important to that process of helping our nervous system regulate. We need time in prayer and in the presence of God, and we can continue in this process to always believe that God heals. It's important to recognize that God heals through his miraculous touch, and he hasn't stopped doing that. But he also heals us through the way that he has created our brain, our heart, our body. And I've seen people, and it breaks my heart, who have gotten miraculously healed from something only to see it return a month, a year, or many years down the road because they didn't come to the root of why the problem came in the first place. And so we want to come to the root of those issues and find healing so that God can do his work and our body can do its work in the process. So in the brain retraining process, the core idea is that our brain is neuroplastic. Neuroplasticity means that our brain can actually form new patterns. So those new patterns are what have created the problem in the first place. Created a pattern. Oh no, there's an issue. I'm here. I'm not safe. Maybe a trauma, a physical issue, other things have happened. I'm not safe. It is now stored somewhere in your body, whether as an illness, as a pain, as fatigue, which would be more like the shutdown component. And similarly, your brain can learn to form a new pattern, to become rewired, and it can learn safety. It can rewire from survival into healing, which is very profound. And remember, I said there are two phrases that this has been called. And under the brain retraining umbrella, we've got limbic system dysfunction and mind-body syndrome. And these have actually become labeled in the community as at large in that doctors are beginning to understand that these are now actual syndromes. And so if you've experienced this, it's now becoming more and more recognized that your mind is at play, not in the way you think. The cognitive brain is the brain that's aware of where we are. It's aware of what I'm doing. You're listening to me right now, and you are hearing these words, and you're thinking, wait, did I make all of this up? No, you didn't make the pain up. You're not making the issue up. But I want to give a little bit of an example for a moment, just to engage me for a minute. So if you were to just kind of touch your hand like so, and you just kind of begin feeling your hand, where do you feel that experience? Okay, if you pinch your hand and you pinch it now, suddenly there's a little signal of pain. Well, that signal of pain or that feeling of touch is actually experienced in your brain. And when you touch that part, it's saying that's okay. But the moment I pinch it, it's like, alert, alert. I'm in pain now. And it's sending a signal of pain. And so if your brain doesn't perceive that you've now entered into a season of safety, because you don't feel like the environment is safe, and remember, this is back in the limbic system, not in the forefront of your brain. But you can use that forefront of your brain to rewire the limbic system and begin lessening and decoding those symptoms in your body. Okay, it's kind of like there's a signal being sent out, and we need to begin going, hey, you don't need to send that signal anymore. Okay, so what that means is that the brain needs a new signal and a new message to be sending into the body. It needs to begin receiving it from the body, and it needs to begin shooting it into the body. Okay, top down, bottom up. If you can remember that, you need both to be communicating those pieces. And so we've heard in the Christian world a lot. We've heard Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And we have learned even more that your mind actually creates physical transformation as you renew your mind. So as we talked about, those neurons that are firing together, they wire together, create a literal physical transformation. And so as we do this, we partner with God in the process. He can help us renew our mind. We have in Corinthians where Paul tells us that we have been given the mind of Christ, which means that we can access the thoughts of the Spirit. We can access Christ's thoughts, but we have to actually be intentional in that process. So you're not doing this alone, but you're also not just declaring thoughts on your own as well. You're partnering with God, interrupting patterns, healing the roots, and engaging with a place of peace and safety so that those pathways can help your body to unlock that sense of safety. Does that sound good? So a simple, very simple and introduction to brain retraining practices is to stop that pattern. So when we get into the deeper work, we want to heal those root places and heal why that issue became a loop in the first place. We want to do some deeper, maybe trauma or healing work to clear that out. There are also other somatic practices to help that clear out of the body, to help the brain begin to release it. But a basic pattern that you can start on today would be just simply doing these 4 steps. Catch the loop. I notice that I'm feeling this. I notice this tension over here. I notice this anxiety. I notice this pain. Now you might be thinking, I'm aware of it all the time. But how often do you actually pause, catch the loop, and do something with it? So pause, just notice it from a neutral standpoint. So remember, the limbic system is continuing and keeping that symptom going because it's caught in a loop that you're not safe. So step 2 is to just gently share a message. I'm safe. I'm here right now. And God is with me. My body can heal. Okay, that's all. I'm safe. I'm here right now. God is with me and my body can heal. And then we want to engage our body and our spirit in the process. So we've learned a lot about how somatic practices, and one that I really love is just placing a hand over the heart. That connects you with the safety of your emotions. It connects your hand to your body, becomes aware of that, and just gently taking 2 fingers and just gently tapping. Place a gentle smile to send a signal to your brain and body that you're safe. And take a gentle breath, connecting to your breath, and just connect with Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, would you fill me with your peace? And just breathe in, and then step 4 would be to visualize. When you can actively engage your visualization center in your brain, you begin connecting that to a deeper place that allows your brain to start unwiring. And I want you to just visualize peace and safety flowing into your body. So that's it. Just 4 simple steps. Just catch the loop and pause yourself. Engage it from a neutral standpoint and shift the message being sent. I'm safe. I'm right here. God is with me and my body can heal. And then engage the body a little. Okay, if you're somewhere out in public, you can tap your fingertips. You can tap just the side of your hand. You can tap your thighs. But I love just doing the hand on the heart and just 2 gentle fingers. Holy Spirit, fill me with your peace. And then engage just in a moment of visualization. Visualize that peace flowing in and through your body. Okay, the more you do this, the more your brain will begin to unwire, rewire, and connect with peace and healing. So it's a journey of faith and healing. It's a journey of processing the way your body is created and engaging with God in the process. God himself has actually wired you for healing, and his presence can lead you in that way. Your brain and body are not broken. They're just caught in a loop, and it's an unhelpful loop right now, but you can rewire that loop into a powerful healing loop. And when you learn that skill, you can come through almost any challenge and any difficulty. So my friends, if this has resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe. Please comment so that I can know how to be praying for you and with you and know whether this is helpful. And if you'd like some deeper practices in this, you can enjoy my wholeness meditation experience in the app. We have many meditations that help take you deeper in this process. Or you're welcome to sign up with a free consultation with me to go even deeper and heal some of those places. Well, my friends, I bless you in this process. May your mind, your heart, and your body know the peace of God that transcends all understanding.